Good afternoon. This is All India Radio. I am Valsa Williams, and with me is Saira Mujtaba with the Midday News. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurates country's first ever driverless metro train in Delhi, says efforts are on to make urban development ready for future requirement. 100th Kisan Rail to be flagged off by Prime Minister this evening. Dry run for coronavirus vaccination begins in Andhra Pradesh, Gujarat, Punjab and Assam today. COVID-19 recovery rate improves to 95.83%. US President Donald Trump signs coronavirus relief package bill, averting a partial government shutdown. And in cricket, India is in a commanding position on day 3 of the second test match against Australia at Melbourne. As the nation fights the COVID-19 pandemic, we begin with a message of precaution to stay safe and protected by following these 3 simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has stressed that rapid urbanization must be seen as an opportunity rather than as a challenge. He said this opportunity can provide the platform to build better infrastructure in the country and improve the ease of living. Mr. Modi was speaking after flagging off India's first ever driverless train operations on Delhi Metro's Magenta line, which will connect Janakpuri West to Botanical Garden Metro Station.
अभी मुझे बिना ड्राइवर के चलने वाली मेट्रो रेल का उद्घाटन करने का अवसर मिला है। आज इस उपलब्धि के साथ ही हमारा देश दुनिया के उन चुनिंदा देशों में शामिल हो गया है जहां इस तरह की सुविधा है। हम ऐसे ब्रेकिंग सिस्टम के भी प्रयोग कर रहे हैं जिनमें ब्रेक लगाने पर 50% ऊर्जा वापस ग्रिड में चली जाती है। आज मेट्रो रेल में 130 मेगावाट सोलर पावर का इस्तेमाल किया जा रहा है, जिसे बढ़कर 600 मेगावाट तक ले जाने का इरादा है। आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस उसका उपयोग करते हुए प्लेटफॉर्म और स्क्रीनिंग दरवाजे, इन आधुनिक तकनीकों पर भी काम तेजी से चल रहा है।
The Prime Minister also inaugurated the fully operational National Common Mobility Card service on the Airport Express line. The National Common Mobility Card will enable the passengers to travel on the Airport Express line using the RuPay debit card issued from any part of the country. In his address, the Prime Minister said the government is committed to convert the challenges into opportunity by developing the urban landscape according to the future requirement.
शहरीकरण हो रहा है, लेकिन इसके आफ्टर इफेक्ट से निपटने के लिए हमारे शहरों को उतनी तेजी से तैयार नहीं किया गया। परिणाम ये हुआ कि देश के बहुत से हिस्सों में शहरी इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर की मांग और पूर्ति में बहुत ज्यादा अंतर आ गया। साथियों, इस सोच से अलग आधुनिक सोच ये कहती है, शहरीकरण को चुनौती न मानकर एक अवसर की तरह इस्तेमाल किया जाए। एक ऐसा अवसर जिसमें हम देश में बेहतर इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर बना सकते हैं, एक ऐसा अवसर जिसमें हम ईज ऑफ लिविंग बढ़ा सकते हैं। सोच का ये अंतर शहरीकरण के हर आयाम में दिखता है।
The Prime Minister said this government has introduced the metro policy and implemented it with an all-round strategy.
हमारे देश में पहले कभी मेट्रो को लेकर कोई नीति ही नहीं थी। कोई नेता कहीं वायदा कराता था, कोई सरकार किसी को संतुष्ट करने के लिए मेट्रो का ऐलान कर देती थी। हमारी सरकार ने इस एडहोकिज्म से बाहर आकर के मेट्रो के संबंध में पॉलिसी भी बनाई और उसे चौतरफा रणनीति के साथ लागू भी किया। हमने जोर दिया स्थानीय मांग के हिसाब से काम करने पर, हमने जोर दिया स्थानीय मानकों को बढ़ावा देने पर, हमने जोर दिया मेक इन इंडिया के ज्यादा से ज्यादा विस्तार पर, हमने जोर दिया आधुनिक टेक्नोलॉजी के उपयोग पर।
Mr. Modi said the government emphasized on local demand, promoting local standards, expansion of Make in India and the use of modern technology. He added that expansion of modern modes of transport, including the metro, should be according to the needs of the people of the city.
RRTS यानी रीजनल रैपिड ट्रांजिट सिस्टम दिल्ली मेरठ RRTS का शानदार मॉडल दिल्ली और मेरठ की दूरी को घटाकर 1 घंटे से भी कम कर देगा। मेट्रो लाइट उन शहरों में जहां यात्री संख्या कम है वहां मेट्रो लाइट वर्जन पर काम हो रहा है। जिन शहरों में सवारियां और भी कम हैं वहां पर मेट्रो नियो पर काम हो रहा है। वाटर मेट्रो आउट ऑफ द बॉक्स सोच का उदाहरण है। जिन शहरों में बड़ी वाटर बॉडी है वहां के लिए अब वाटर मेट्रो पर काम किया जा रहा है। इससे शहरों को बेहतर कनेक्टिविटी के साथ ही उनके पास मौजूद द्वीपों के लोगों को लास्ट माइल कनेक्टिविटी का लाभ मिल सकेगा।
Outlining the works done for the development of metro lines across the country, Mr. Modi said significant progress has been made in the expansion of metro services. He said metro trains were operating in 5 cities in the year 2014 and now it is operating in 18 cities.
साल 2014 में जब हमारी सरकार बनी उस समय सिर्फ 5 शहरों में मेट्रो रेल थी। आज 18 शहरों में मेट्रो रेल की सेवा है। वर्ष 2025 तक हम इसे 25 से ज्यादा शहरों तक विस्तार देने वाले हैं। साल 2014 में देश में सिर्फ 248 किलोमीटर मेट्रो लाइन ऑपरेशन थी। आज ये करीब 3 गुनी यानी 700 किलोमीटर से ज्यादा है। वर्ष 2025 तक हम इसका विस्तार 1700 किलोमीटर तक करने का प्रयास कर रहे हैं।
Highlighting the importance of the Make in India initiative for the expansion of metro services, Mr. Modi said it reduces costs, saves foreign exchange and gives more employment to people in the country. He said dozens of companies are engaged in the manufacturing of metro components and this is helping Make in India and the Self-Reliant India initiative. The Prime Minister said that providing the same standards and facilities for modernization is very important and the National Common Mobility Card is a major step in this direction which will provide integrated access for public transport.
आधुनिकीकरण के लिए एक ही तरह के मानक और सुविधाएं उपलब्ध कराना बहुत जरूरी है। राष्ट्रीय स्तर पर कॉमन मोबिलिटी कार्ड इसी दिशा में एक बड़ा कदम है। कॉमन मोबिलिटी कार्ड का लक्ष्य बिल्कुल स्पष्ट है। आप जहां कहीं से भी यात्रा करें, आप जिस भी पब्लिक ट्रांसपोर्ट से यात्रा करें, ये एक कार्ड आपको इंटीग्रेटेड एक्सेस देगा। यानी एक कार्ड ही हर जगह के लिए पर्याप्त है। ये हर जगह चलेगा।
The Prime Minister said our government has done many things in the past years to integrate the systems of the country through One Nation, One Tax, One Nation, One Fast-Tag, One Nation, One Health Insurance Scheme and One Nation, One Ration Card. He said the country is moving in the direction of One Nation, One Agriculture Market with new agricultural reforms and arrangements like ENAM.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will flag off the 100th Kisan Rail from Sangola in Maharashtra to Shalimar in West Bengal at 4:30 p.m. today through video conferencing. The multi-commodity train service will carry vegetables such as cauliflower, capsicum, cabbage, drumsticks, chilies, onions, as well as fruits like grapes, oranges, pomegranate, banana and custard apple. Loading and unloading of perishable commodities will be permitted at all en route stoppages with no bar on size of consignment. The central government has extended a subsidy of 50% on transportation of fruits and vegetables. Agriculture Minister Narendra Singh Tomar and Railways Minister Piyush Goyal will also be present on the occasion. Our correspondent reports that the first Kisan Rail was introduced from Devlali to Danapur on 7th of August this year, which was further extended up to Muzaffarpur. As a result of good response from the farmers, its frequency was also increased from weekly to 3 days in a week. Kisan Rail has been a game changer in ensuring fast transportation of agricultural produce across the nation. It provides a seamless supply chain of perishable produce. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will inaugurate the new Bhavpur-New Khurja section of Eastern Dedicated Freight Corridor (EDFC) tomorrow at 11 a.m. through video conferencing. The 351-kilometer New Bhavpur-New Khurja section of EDFC is situated in Uttar Pradesh and is built at a cost of 5,750 crore rupees. The section will open new vistas of opportunity for local industries such as the aluminium industry in Kanpur Dehat district, dairy sector in Auraiya, textile production in Etawah, glassware industry in Firozabad and locks and hardware in Aligarh district. The section will also decongest the existing Kanpur-Delhi main line and will enable Indian Railways to run faster trains. During the event, the Prime Minister will also inaugurate EDFC's Operation Control Centre (OCC) at Prayagraj. This will act as the command centre for the entire route length of the EDFC. The centre is one of the largest structures of its type globally, with modern interiors, ergonomic design and best-in-class acoustics.
India today unfurled 8 blue flags on its beaches, which showcases a national-level campaign to safeguard its coastal region. Terming it a proud moment for the country, Environment Minister Prakash Javadekar said the certification is a global recognition of India's conservation and sustainable development efforts. India, which has become the first country in the world to receive the Blue Flag certification for 8 beaches in a single attempt, hoisted the blue flags in all the beaches. Mr. Javadekar lauded the outstanding efforts while virtually hoisting the flags in all 8 beaches. Blue Flag certification is a globally recognized eco-label accorded by the Foundation for Environment Education in Denmark based on 33 stringent criteria.
With the public participation, we are going to not only clean but maintain with international standards at least 100 beaches. In the first installment, we did it 8 beaches, and I am very happy that all the 8 beaches got the blue flag recognition. इसमें क्या-क्या होती है? बीच के संबंध में सभी जानकारी होती है. बीच का कैसे अच्छा उपयोग करें इसके बारे में प्रशिक्षण होता है. बीच का पूरा मैप होता है. वहाँ कैसे बिहेव करें इसका कोड ऑफ कंडक्ट होता है. वाटर क्वालिटी ठीक रहे इसके लिए प्रबंधन होता है. कोई औद्योगिक या रेसिडेंशियल वेस्ट वहाँ न गिरे, न कोई गिराए, ये देखना भी जरूरी होता है. फिर बीच की मैनेजमेंट कमेटी होती है जिसमें स्थानीय लोग होते हैं जो उसकी जिम्मेवारी लेते हैं. ये साफ सुथरा होता है.
Our correspondent reports a national-level campaign integrated with the BEAMS, Beach Environment and Aesthetics Management Services Program for continuous awareness and education of people for Blue Flag certification journey. BEAMS is an integrated coastal zone management initiative undertaken for sustainable development of 13 coastal regions of the country with the prime objective to conserve the pristine coastal and marine ecosystems. Prime Minister Narendra Modi today remembered senior BJP leader Arun Jaitley on his birth anniversary. In a tweet, Mr. Modi said Arun Jaitley's warm personality, intellect, legal acumen and wit are missed by all those he closely associated with. The Prime Minister said he worked tirelessly for India's progress. Home Minister Amit Shah today unveiled a statue of Arun Jaitley and paid tributes to him at the Arun Jaitley Stadium, formerly known as the Firozshah Kotla Stadium, on the occasion of the late minister's 68th birth anniversary. Mr. Shah said Arun Jaitley was an outstanding parliamentarian and excelled in many fields.
मेरे जीवन में जब संकट आया तब बहुत सारे लोगों ने मुझे मदद की, मगर अरुण जी ने हर क्षण एक बड़े भाई की भूमिका निभाकर उंगली पकड़कर ये पूरे संकट से मुझे बाहर निकालने में बहुत बड़ा योगदान है. मैं उसको सार्वजनिक रूप से स्वीकार नहीं करूंगा तो मेरे लिए भी वो उचित नहीं होगा. मैं आज सबके सामने स्वीकार करना चाहता हूं कि अरुण जी ने जरा भी डरे बगैर, कभी पब्लिक परसेप्शन की चिंता करे बगैर, मुखर कर बोलने में कभी पीछे हटकर वो नहीं रहे.
Mr. Shah said it was a matter of great honour and joy for him to be at the stadium, which has witnessed some historic cricketing moments in the past.
The farmers' unions have proposed to hold another round of talks with the government tomorrow at 11 a.m. Briefing reporters at Singhu border, Swaraj India President Yogendra Yadav said all farmer leaders and all farmers' unions representatives who are protesting against the farm laws have mutually decided to hold another round of talks with the centre. On Thursday, the central government had written to the protesting farmers' unions and invited them for fresh talks. Joint Secretary in the Agriculture Ministry, Vivek Agrawal, had reiterated government's commitment to discuss and find solutions to all the issues raised by the farmers. Mr. Agrawal had asked farmers' unions to decide the date and time for the next round of talks. You are listening to the Midday News on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurates country's first ever driverless metro train in Delhi. Says efforts are on to make urban development ready for future requirement. 100th Kisan Rail to be flagged off by Prime Minister this evening. Dry run for coronavirus vaccination begins in Andhra Pradesh, Gujarat, Punjab and Assam today. COVID-19 recovery rate improves to 95.83%. US President Donald Trump signs coronavirus relief package bill, averting a partial government shutdown. And in cricket, India in a commanding position on day 3 of the second test match against Australia at Melbourne. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle @AIR News Alerts.
चलो मिलकर एक शुरुआत करें, चलो एक फैसला आज करें, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे, चलो एक इरादा करते हैं, चलो कुछ वादा करते हैं, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे.
Welcome back. The dry run for COVID-19 vaccination has begun in India. In the first phase, 4 states, Andhra Pradesh, Gujarat, Punjab and Assam, began the 2-day exercise from today. The aim of the exercise is to identify challenges and make required changes in the plan so that the final process becomes foolproof. The Health Ministry said this 2-day exercise will provide a hands-on experience to program managers at various levels. This will also enable end-to-end mobilization and testing of COVID-19 vaccination process, except the vaccine, and check the usage of co-win in field environment, the linkages between planning, implementation and reporting mechanisms, and identify challenges and guide the way forward prior to actual implementation, including improvements that may be required in the envisaged process. The ministry said an important focus of the dry run will be on management of any possible adverse events following immunization. The mock drill will include concurrent monitoring and review at the block and district levels and preparation of feedback to be shared with the state and union health ministry. Dr. Neeraj Gupta from Vardhaman Mahavir Medical College and Safdarjung Hospital in New Delhi explains about the dry run.
ये ड्राई रन जो है, जो 2 दिन में 4 स्टेट्स में, जो कि उनकी टिपिकल टोपोग्राफी के अनुसार सिलेक्ट किए गए हैं, और उसमें हर एक स्टेट के 2-2 डिस्ट्रिक्ट्स में, और उन 2-2 डिस्ट्रिक्ट्स के भी हर क्षेत्र में जहाँ पे की वैक्सीन की उपलब्धि कराई जाएगी, तो वो सारी प्रक्रिया की जाएंगी जो वैक्सीनेशन के लिए होंगी, एक्सेप्ट कि वैक्सीन नहीं लगेगी. बाकी वैक्सीन का कहाँ से आएगी, इसका डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन कैसे होगा, उसका ट्रांसपोर्ट कैसे होगा, कोल्ड चेन कैसे मेंटेन की जाएगी, वो जिस भी साइट पे जा रही है, चाहे वो अर्बन साइट हो, रूरल साइट हो या कोई भी पेरिफेरल सेंटर जो बनाया गया हो, वहाँ कैसे पहुंचेगी, वहाँ का क्राउड कंट्रोल कैसे होगा, वैक्सीन कैसे लगेगी, कितने लोगों को लगेगी. जैसे लगभग 100 लोगों को लगाई जाएगी, आधा घंटे उनको उसके बाद विश्राम करने के लिए बोला जाएगा, उसका रिएक्शन तो नहीं होगा, और उन सबको बाद में IT के द्वारा, ऐप के द्वारा अपलोड भी किया जाएगा, उसकी पूरी मॉनिटरिंग होगी. इन सब चीजों की प्रक्रिया को देखने के लिए, ताकि वैक्सीन जो है वो हर व्यक्ति को सुचारू रूप से मिल सके, उसकी एफिकेसी मेंटेन रहे, साइड इफेक्ट्स ना हो, उनका उसी वक्त इंतजाम हो, उसी वक्त का रिएक्शन का इलाज हो सके. तो इन सब बंदोबस्त को पूरा तरीके से एक तरह से चेक करने के लिए ये एक ड्राई रन प्लान किया गया है.
Krishna district is identified to carry out the dry run in Andhra Pradesh. The dry run has been inaugurated by the Krishna district collectors A. Mohammad Imtiaz at Primary Urban Health Centre, Prakash Nagar, Vijayawada. In Andhra Pradesh, the dry run will be carried out at 5 centres.
The country's COVID-19 recovery rate has reached 95.83%. In the last 24 hours, more than 21,000 COVID patients have recovered. The Health Ministry said the total number of recoveries has gone up to over 97,82,000. The actual caseload currently comprises only 2.72% of the total positive cases. Presently, the total number of active cases in the country is around 2,77,000. In the past 24 hours, 20,021 new cases were reported, taking the total number of positive cases in the country to over 1,02 lakhs. The ministry said that effective implementation of the strategic and graded test, track and treat approach has led to higher recoveries and lower fatality. According to the Indian Council of Medical Research, more than 7,15,000 tests were conducted in the last 24 hours. A total of 757 new confirmed cases of coronavirus infection were reported in Delhi in the last 24 hours, taking the total number of cases to over 6,22,000. The Delhi government said that over 6,05,000 people affected with coronavirus have been cured so far. In the last 24 hours, 939 people recovered and 16 deaths were reported in the city, taking the toll to 10,453.
Madhya Pradesh reported below 1,000 positive cases on Sunday. The state continues to report more recoveries than positive cases. The state also registered a decline in active COVID-19 cases. So far, more than 2,24,000 patients have recovered from COVID infection in the state. Our correspondent reports around 26,800 tests have been carried out in the state yesterday, out of which 946 new positive cases were reported. In Tripura, with the number of recoveries in COVID-19 cases increasing, the number of active cases is also dropping. As of today, the number of active cases has dropped to 141. 32,688 patients have been cured in the state so far, out of the total 33,237 positive cases recorded so far. In Mizoram, the number of active cases of COVID-19 has dropped to 127. As the recovery of COVID-19 related patients is on the rise, the recovery rate has improved to 96.81% as of today. In the past 24 hours, the state has recorded 2 new positive cases, while 3 patients recovered from the coronavirus infection. According to the state medical bulletin, the COVID-19 tally has reached 4,184, whereas 4,049 infected people have recovered from the infection.
U.S. President Donald Trump has signed into law a coronavirus relief and spending package bill, averting a partial government shutdown. President Trump had initially refused to sign the bill, saying he wanted to give people bigger one-off payments. The delay meant that millions of Americans temporarily lost unemployment benefits. In a statement, Mr. Trump said he was signing the bill to restore unemployment benefits, return airline workers back to work, and add substantially more money for vaccine distribution. The relief package worth $900 billion was approved by Congress after 9 months of negotiation. It is part of a $2.3 trillion spending package that includes $1.4 trillion for normal federal government spending. If President Trump had not signed the bill into law, a partial government shutdown would have begun unless legislators passed a stopgap bill. Hospitals in the south of England say they have seen a real rise in pressure as the number of COVID patients receiving treatment increases. Paramedics in London are now receiving almost 8,000 call-outs a day, with Boxing Day described as one of London ambulance services' busiest in history. On Sunday, some 30,501 infections and 316 deaths were recorded in the UK.
The News Services Division brings glimpses of the year that was in our special series Year Ender. The labour welfare has been at the forefront of the NDA government's agenda to harmonise the needs of workers, industries and other related parties. The central government has replaced 29 labour laws with 4 labour codes. Prime Minister Narendra Modi had described these reforms as pro-worker, adding that it will create significant employment while ensuring minimum wage and social security for labourers.
श्रमिकों के स्वास्थ्य, श्रमिकों की सुरक्षा, श्रमिकों की सुविधा और श्रमिकों के वेतन को लेकर अब कानूनों को सरल बनाया गया है। नए कानूनों के माध्यम से देश के सभी करीब 50 करोड़ संगठित और असंगठित क्षेत्र के श्रमिकों को वेतन मिले और वो भी समय पर मिले, इसको कानूनी रूप से अनिवार्य कर दिया गया है।
correspondent takes a look at significant provisions of the labour reforms.
Government has amalgamated 29 labour laws into 4 labour codes. They are Industrial Relation Code, Occupational Safety, Health and Working Condition Code, Social Security Code and Code on Wages. Through these reforms, legal rights of minimum and timely wages have been given to all 50 crore organized and unorganized sector workers. To provide a safe working environment and protect labour health, for the first time, annual health checkup has been provided for workers above a certain age. Additionally, measures have also been taken to keep the standards related to safety effective and dynamic at the workplace. The labour codes also reduced the minimum qualification from 240 days to 180 days for leave. The provisions have been made for the payment of at least 50% of the penalty imposed on an employer for injury or death at workplace to the aggrieved worker in addition to other benefits. With a view that women should have the freedom to do the same work as men, provisions have been made that women can work in any type of institution at night as per their choice. For Social Security of labourers, the scope of ESIC and EPFO is being extended and Social Security Fund will be set up. Through this fund, schemes will be made for workers working in unorganized sector and plans will be formulated to provide all kinds of benefits including insurance, maternity benefit and pension to 40 crore unorganized workers. The effective and simplified Industrial Relation Code have also been put in place so that peace and harmony prevail in the industrial units. Divakar, AR News, Delhi.
The Melbourne cricket test between India and Australia is set for a tantalising finish. The hosts have a slender 2-run lead with just 4 wickets to go in their second innings. At the draw of stumps on the third day, Australia were 133 for 6. Pat Cummins with 15 and C. Grain with 17 runs were at the crease. For India, Ravindra Jadeja bagged 2 wickets, while Bumrah, Ashwin, Siraj and Umesh Yadav got 1 wicket each. Earlier, India finished their first innings with a score of 326, while Australia were bowled out for 195 in their first innings. For India, stand-in captain Ajinkya Rahane scripted a gritty ton.
In Himachal Pradesh, middle and high hills received fresh snowfall, while the lower region experienced scattered rains. Fresh snowfall brings cheer to tourists, farmers, hoteliers and orchardists. Our correspondent from Shimla reports that several arterial routes in high-altitude areas have been disrupted due to heavy snowfall.
People are facing severe cold after a fresh spell of snowfall in the last 24 hours. Major tourist destinations Shimla, Manali, Dalhousie and Kufri received fresh snowfall yesterday night. Shimla city received season's first snowfall, bringing cheer among tourists, hoteliers and local residents. Kufri witnessed 30 cm snowfall followed by 32 cm in Dalhousie. Due to heavy snowfall, National Highway 5 and many circuit roads connecting villages of high altitude areas have been blocked. Administration of hilly areas has pressed man and machinery to clear snowbound roads on war footing for smooth movement of vehicular traffic. The State Meteorological Department has predicted clear weather from tomorrow onwards. Sanjeev Sundrial, AIR News, Shimla.
Now let us take a look at the weather forecast for today. The national capital is likely to witness mist. The temperature will vary between 6 and 20 degrees Celsius. Mumbai will have a mainly clear sky. Temperature will vary between 16 and 31 degrees. Chennai will have a partly cloudy sky becoming generally cloudy towards afternoon or evening or night. The temperature will hover between 21 and 30 degrees. Kolkata experienced fog or mist in the morning and mainly clear sky later. The city will observe minimum temperature of 13 degrees, maximum of 25. Srinagar will have a generally cloudy sky with light rain. Temperature will hover between 1 degree Celsius and 7 degrees. In Jammu, minimum temperature was 6 degrees, while maximum will be 16 degrees. The city will have a generally cloudy sky with light rain. Leh will have overcast sky. Minimum temperature was -9 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will be -2 degrees. Gilgit will have a generally cloudy sky. Temperature will hover between -3 degrees to 8 degrees. Muzaffarabad will have a partly cloudy sky. Temperature will move between 3 degrees Celsius to 12 degrees. And now before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurates the country's first ever driverless metro train in Delhi, says efforts are on to make urban development ready for future requirement. 100th Kisan Rail to be flagged off by Prime Minister this evening. Dry run for coronavirus vaccination begins in Andhra Pradesh, Gujarat, Punjab and Assam today. COVID-19 recovery rate improves to 95.83%. US President Donald Trump signs coronavirus relief package bill averting a partial government shutdown. And in cricket, India in a commanding position on day 3 of the second test match against Australia at Melbourne. And with that, we end the midday news.